to the, into the base of the jaw here, then they'll split into an internal and external carotid. That's at the carotid sinus, okay? And the reason that's significant is because running alongside the carotid arteries is the vagus nerve. Now you see that here, it's separate because I cut it there. I cut the artery. You can still see it on the other side. Okay, so the vagus nerve runs right alongside those in the same general connective tissue, junction on both sides. So there's basically a left and right vagus nerve, and why that's significant is if you look and you can pulsate and get pulse from the carotid sinus, but if you press on the carotid sinus, then essentially you're actually distorting the vagus nerve, and that causes essentially the vagus nerve to fire, which slows down the heart. Okay, so that's part of the carotid sinus reflex, and which basically slows the heart rate down. Okay. So basically, did you see that? So what we're looking at, Thomas, is here on this side, then this one's cut. It's not the way they come. This one's intact, but basically you have carotid artery, and there's the vagus nerve. Okay. And so as they come together and come back farther down, see if I can move this out of the way, basically you'll see another major artery that gives rise to these guys. See if I can get under him from this side. This time. Here he is right here. See if I can, oh, it's starting to tear. I know. Okay. So basically what we see right here, I'll move the probe there so that folks can see that. So this major branch that we're looking right here at here is the brachiocephalic artery or brachiocephalic trunk.
Will you point your little pointer at?
It's underneath, the probe is underneath it.
Okay.
Lifting up right here.
That's the brachiocephalic trunk.
Right. Now what you can't see is say, well, how do you know that? Because you can't see anything. And basically it's because the lungs are in the way, and all of this fatty material right here this is all fat and part of the thymus gland, which is this stuff here, which is sitting on top of the pericardial sac. So the thymus gland, which we'll talk about next term because it's part of the immune system, basically sits along here and actually covers most of this area right up over the great vessels. Okay. What's that?
Why is that tied down?
Why is it tied down? Because to keep him oriented in the right direction. So
Just run away.
So I'm going to now remove part of this thymus and some of the fatty material, since both groups have seen this. And as we do that, you say, aha, look, there's another sac over there. Oh, cool. Okay, so basically, and this is not uncommon in humans as well, you get fat deposition on the outside. And so here you can see the underlying pericardial sac. And so now, just move some of this out of the way. Extra stuff here. And so now what we're going to do is through here, we're not totally tearing this apart. Farther back, and then a little bit more in the sac, so that when I cut under it, go through it, you can see the actual part. And I can begin to see the underlying part under there, which is quite nifty. Enter the sac.
Is this the pericardium then you're cutting?
I'm cutting the pericardial sac. So this would be the parietal pericardium that's being cut. That's what I see. All right. now we can see underlying ventricles for the most part. And atria. Okay, does everybody recognize that? And so basically you see, so you see a major vessel right here. This major vessel would be what? Nope. So basically, so look first.
What you're pointing at?
So,
Neither can
so as we look at it here, here's what you see. Here's the top.
That's
You
the
see
right
this? I
side.
know, it's hard to see this. See this, see there's a little groove right there? So
So that would have been the left.
this is basically the atrioventricular groove, the anterior atrioventricular sulcus. This is the apex, so that's the left ventricle. It means this is the right ventricle. That means this big vessel coming out of here would be what?
The vena cava.
Coming out of the right ventricle,
Oh, the pulmonary artery.
pulmonary trunk. That's right. I mean, it looks really big, and that's just the way it's, just, you know, it's preserved.
And I can't say what you're pointing
See it right here?
at. Oh, okay.
So that's a fat pad. So
That right there is what you're
this
talking about.
is what I'm talking about. That's the pulmonary trunk.
Okay.
So this basically is the left atrium here. This is the right atrium right there. So move this out of the way. Looks very different, doesn't it?
They do, they look like just tissue added on or something.
Yeah,
They're
I know.
like not functional.
Okay, so now, in order to see the rest of this, kind of